Righto, what we need to do now, we've done our gutters, it's time to put some members on here, some hips and valleys on here. So what we do, go down here, change the ground floor level, so we're on our ground floor again. We select this button here, which brings us up in a 2D rendered fashion. And what we do, when we're going to do our members, we've got to make sure we go into our eye, which is our view filter. We turn, easiest way is just to turn everything off, so display none. Then we only want to display our roof and our, actually we turn everything off again. Select up here on our view filter. On our ground floor we want to turn our roof on, and our roof wants to be on here, and our members on. The other thing we want to see is we want to go down our gutters, because it's just a little bit easier if we see our gutters there. So we can actually, no, we'll leave them on. Right, now we go to members, and in this case, beforehand, every other time we've gone by picking points. This time we must go by matching plane. Okay, so members by matching plane, and we turn ortho off, so that way we've got ob snap and angle snap on. Okay, and we go and find the members we need. Now again, we're in roofing members, metal sheet roofing, because again it's a metal roof. If it was a concrete tile roof, we'd be using all these same members, but they're up in here in the concrete tile. Alright, so we're going to put a hip on. So we click our hip, we zoom in to the first hip. Now see how there's a little finger with a cross on it? You find the plane that you're going to work off, and you click it. As soon as you've clicked it once, it's found the plane we're going to work on, and it goes to this little, looks like a little bit of RHS steel icon. So we can only ever work on whichever surface we've touched on. So we can only work on this surface. We can't work here, we can't work there, we can only work here, righto? So because these two planes, these two hips are on this same plane, we can work on those two. So we click here, and all the way it comes up to here, snaps onto there, and we go back down to the gutter again. Righto? Finish that, right click, finish. You can't push repeat, because again you can't work on it any more than the one you're using, the one plane you've picked. So we'll go and do hips again, and we'll click on that hip, zoom into it, so it's selected it, and now it's been selected. Then we can just click on this, go up to the top of the ridge, back down to the gutter again. Now you might notice I usually pull it down so it goes at least halfway through the gutter. That makes sure I've got enough length on my ridge to cover in the price, because again these hips and ridges and things and valleys, they all have a recipe attached. Again, it's how we priced a house. If you forget them, or you put too many in, or you don't put enough in, the price isn't going to come up right. So we select again, hip again, and see this hip here. Oh, just scroll in a bit. This hip here, we click on that one, and this allows us to go from here up to the top here, and because this little flying hip's on the same plane, we can get that one. So again, finish, go to this bigger hip up here. Now why some people get a bit confused with this is you can't actually see the hips. I know we've made them into a small line, so they're not going to show up, but I'll show you in a second how we find out what we've done to make sure you don't double up, or you know whether it's actually worked. So finished. Now zoom out like that. Now do a window over it, and so you can see it's lit up in green where we've done. Righto. Also the outside of the roof's lit up in green, because that's because we've got the roofs turned on. But you can see we've done this hip, we've done this hip, and this hip. Now I don't know whether you can see that properly on the plan, so I'll zoom in a little bit, see the green line. Okay, now we've done our hips. Oh, we've got two more hips here to do. We've got this hip here and this hip here. So we go hips, pick on the plane, oops, sorry, repeat, down to the corner, finish, hips, this side, and go from there to there. Right click finish. Now we've got to put valleys in. Same process. Go down here to valleys. Click on there. Because this is the whole main plane here, we can start it over here to there. Because OBSNAP's on, it's going to find the point of the ridge and the centre of the gutter. So there's that one. We'll put another ridge, another valley in this section here. So click on there. Up. Finish. If you have the roof visible but the filter not working to on, so basically we could manipulate this roof, it's not going to work. You must have the roof on, plus it has to be active, the actual filter. Valley, this one here. Now I'm going to start this one from here because this is a portico one and we like to have the valleys a bit long when we do these, so I always just run them past a little bit. Okay, finish. Oh, I could have actually just repeated that one, but anyway, it's not too hard to do that. Go down there. The reason I want these a little bit longer is because if you ever put a valley on that comes out over another roof, the valley actually comes out and is lifted up and pulled over the top of the other roof, so that's why we need a little bit more length in it. Righto, so if you zoom out again, we do our little window again, and we're able to see that I've done all the valleys are done, all the hips are done. Now the veranda is something we've got to do something to. So any veranda, any veranda that, or any bit of roof that sits up against a wall, if this was a bell veranda where this roof just kept on coming down, and say it might kick there at that point, but it's still in this, there's no fascia between it, well that wouldn't need any flashing here because the roof just comes down and one sheet of iron goes underneath the other. But in this case, because the roof stops here and fascia goes across here and this lower roof hits against a brick wall, it must have flashing on it. So I've got a little flashing thing here. So click on the flashing by matching plane again, and we've clicked our plane because this is a hip, so it's going downhill. It's not on the same plane as this. So we click from there. Remember, this has got an edge that you can see the angle on it. So we have to do it the same as we do the gutter. So we go from this side to that side, and there we go. Finish. Flashing, put it on here. Got my plane. Go to there, finish. Same down here. Flashing, click this point. Go from here to here. Finish. Flashing, hit that plane. Go all the way along here. It's actually going up on the other roof. It doesn't really matter because I don't need to see it. It's only there for pricing. Righto, so now we've got everything in the way of flashing that needs to be bothered about matching plane. Okay, what's next is your ridges. They have to be done. So all these ridges, we don't bother doing those on matching plane. So we go back up here and we pick these by picking points. So click our picking points. We go to ridge, and you don't have to switch off every time you do this. You can just go from there to there. Click, right click, repeat. Start here, go from there to there. Click, right click, repeat. Click from there to there. Click, repeat. And the last one will be at the front here on the front of the portico. Actually, we've got to put a barge on the front of our portico on our gable. So click this one by picking points. So there, finished. So we have to go back up and change it to matching plane again because we didn't put a barge on. Now this barge is going to have an eave on it of about 300mm. So we go up here, ones with the asterisk, barge, 300mm eave. So we can go click on that plane, click there, go up to the ridge, right click, finish. This plane's not the same as that plane, so we have to click it again. So we go up the barge, 300mm barge, click on this plane and down, right click, finish. Righto, so now what we do, just to make sure, we zoom out, zoom across, I can see a ridge there, I can see a ridge there, ridge there, ridge there. I can see my flashings in here, and I can see highlighted here is the barge I just put in. So that means everything's finished. That's all there is to do with ridges. So go back into 2D mode, go back to our filters, and turn on our walls again, turn on our plumbing fixtures, no interior accessories, turn on our columns, turn on our appliances. Okay, go into 3D perspective, and for visual purposes, to look at this plan, you can actually just see the top of the flashing I put there, but you can't actually see it. You can see the flashing over the back of the back here, but this one here, this would actually be alright to see this on our plan, the flashing. So we'll go back into 2D mode, zoom in, barge, just highlight that one and highlight that one. Now it's not that far behind it, so if we go move it forward, say 20 mil, 25, enter. That was a little bit far, so we might move it back. We might move it back 15 to only come past forwards 10 mil. Go into 3D perspective and see how that looks. That didn't fix it. Okay, let's see if we can actually click that. Properties. Well, no wonder, it's only 10 mil by 30 mil. So that's why we can't see it. Like, it'd have to be 110 or something like that. We change that. No, it's alright. I'll just get that again. Select all similar. I don't know why it didn't select the one next to it, but anyway, I'll shift, highlight that one as well. Properties. We'll go 110. We'll do it this way by 5 because it doesn't. That was on top of the roof. Okay. Now we can actually go back into 2D. Select that. Shift select that. And move them back. Move back this way. 10 mil. That'll take it back to where it was originally put. Right, now if you look at the front of it, we can adjust the size of that if we wanted to, as you see how I just did before, but that gives it a barge. Righto. So you might find sometimes you've got to elevate them to different levels so that way they look like. If you wanted to leave that barge there, what you could do is make another place, another what do we call it? Floor location, another build location, and we call it barge. We might do that just for an exercise, righto? So we add location. Yeah, when you push add location, it always ends up down the bottom here. So we'll call this barge. Barge. Okay. Now we'll make it the same as our ground floor. So if we go to our ground floor, what's it? It's 2550, righto? 2550. Well, barge is actually already that, so that's what it's going to stay. We go OK. Now if we click on that, shift, duplicate to location, and we come down here till we find barge, and we go OK. And then, now this is a really important part, because now all of a sudden we've got 4 barges instead of the 2. So we need to only have the 2 for our pricing. But we know we've already duplicated them to another location. We'll just push delete on those ones. And now we've only got 1 lot, which are on our barge location. So if we go into ground floor again, we'll cancel, wrong one, 3D, down here the world I'm after. And we see here, we can see our fascia and that, I mean our flashing line here, and it doesn't look very good. We want the place to look a bit better. We still want to see those barges. So now what we can do is we can go into our eye. We can go to floor covering, ground floor. We'll turn off members. We'll go down here until we find barge, and we don't need to see anything else on that level, so we'll display none but show members, and all of a sudden see they're all gone from here, but I can still see it on the barge. That's why different floor build locations are so important to understand and know how to use them. In 3D mode you can play with it. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be on the actual, like I'm on ground floor here, we know these barges are not on ground floor, but you can play with anything in 3D. It doesn't matter what floor you're on down here. If you see it on a plan and it's actually active on the filters, you can manipulate it. So I'm going to flick on that and I shift that again because I reckon that looks too big. This is where it just comes to making things look tidy. So I'll go properties. I'm going to change that to about 75. Okay, and see it's just made a little bit smaller. Something else which will drive in here, and we'll zoom down here. There's something else doesn't look real good. There's this bit of wall here. See how the walls aren't on. See how that wall there, it doesn't go up to the roof. So what we do, we select the wall, right click on it, properties, and go top and bottom. And see how we've got 2550 written here. Well, because we don't want, we come back over here and we go auto extend, and it goes, and you click these two boxes, righto. So basically this is telling it's going to auto extend to the roof. So we go OK. Look at that, all of a sudden it just fills the wall in. Okay, so that's a neat little trick to make the plan look a bit better. One other trick, inside it's all blue because we haven't put any floors in yet. Let's see on the sill of this here, it shows it blue, the door. I don't know why, but on doors and sills, window sills, not window sills, sliding door sills, glass sliding door sills and front door sills or whatnot, external door sills, it always makes this blue. So how to fix that is you select the door, right click, just go elevate, and just push 1 millimeter. You're not going to see it on the plan, but it's just going to fix that. And all of a sudden, it's not blue at the front here anymore. It's got a window sill. And while we're adjusting and leveling things up, another one that's got the same problem. Garage door. I don't know why, but you can't seem to be able to fix the blue on the line on this. I've asked some technical people about it, and they say, oh, it just happens to be that blue line at the front. But what we can do is elevate it so we don't have a row of bricks under it. So we go minus 172. It's minus 172 because the floor is always 172 above ground height. So now at least our garage, when you drive a car in there, you wouldn't have to drive over a couple of bricks. Okay, well, that's how you put hips and valleys and barges on the house. They don't have to be there for looks, but they do definitely have to be there for the part of the quoting of the house, and that's what this is about. Okay.